And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the late night styled podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. This is episode 100. I've got a special gift for you. It's about 5 jokes. Get ready to receive. Here we go. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said in a congressional hearing that he's never seen President Donald Trump fall asleep in a meeting. This is before California Rep. Ted Lieu showed him video evidence of such a situation, to which Rubio responded with this face. That's the face a cheating husband makes when his wife catches him mid-affair. He looks like a child being caught lying about their homework. That's the kind of face made when Larry David knows he's wrong and the trombone starts playing. Bum, 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 I don't want to get a content strike on YouTube. Rubio also said that the president calls him at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. for work reasons. Can you imagine getting a booty call from Trump? Hey, buddy, I was wondering if you're wearing those 2 big size of shoes I bought you. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's play Marco Polo in the Oval Office until I get you. Marco, you say Polo. Could you imagine? Marco? Are you saying Polo? Marco? Former National Security Advisor John Bolton plans to plead guilty in his classified documents case. The only thing this man is guilty of is looking like discount Colonel Sanders. I say, I need to protect the recipe of the 11 herbs and spices. Pretty good. Former Prince Andrew made money subletting cottages on his estate that he did not pay rent for. I can only imagine the Airbnb listing. Lovely neighborhood, no parties, and don't mind the red blinking light in the bowl of the loo. It's disgusting and still great. Ms. Lauryn Hill is set to receive the Living Legend Icon Award at the 2026 BET Awards on June 28th at 8 p.m., but the actual award show is set for June 29th, where she'll be right on time. And finally, a mother in Florida launched legal proceedings after finding moving worms and parasites in her daughter's SpaghettiOs. In response to the lawsuit, Campbell's Soup Company released a statement that only read, "Uh-oh." It's a standing ovation. All the pets are standing up. My neighbors are standing up. Everybody's clapping. That's all the jokes I have for you today. Welcome back in. I did not have to redo that monologue 3 other times. I did. That was the 4th time. And it sucked. It sucked doing that the first 3 times and having to pretend that I did it first every single time. Welcome back in. Let me reset the sizes of these websites, because at some point next week I'll be like, why is CBS News so zoomed out? Oh, because their leaders are so zoomed out. Okay, welcome back in. It's been a long day, man. It has been a long day. I was at the pool for I took a look. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I took a midday break. I went to my pool and at my apartment complex here, and I'm sitting there. I was like, I have 30 minutes. Let me just sit here, and I won't be bothered for 30 minutes. I run downstairs, and I'm sitting there, and I'm doing the crossword, New York Times crossword. I'm doing spelling bee. I'm playing those games, and I get out of the pool, and I'm sitting, and I'm trying to dry myself off before I go, but I'm just like looking through emails and stuff because I have to go back to work. I am sitting there. I'm slipping my watch on, and this guy approaches me, someone I've never seen at this complex before. And given there's, hundreds of apartments. I don't even know that might be like 200 or 300 apartments. I don't know, but it's hundreds. And then he like says something to me, but I have my earbuds in, and I'm like, yes. And he goes, "Did you see me?" He has an accent. I think it might be Italian. "Did you see me swim down the pool and do a backflip?" And I was like, "No, I don't know you." And he goes, "Oh, okay. Hey, my friend is running a dating service here at the apartment complex." And then I look up at her, and she does a cartoonish like wave. And he goes, and she wants to, he goes, are you single? And I go, first he goes, are you single? And I go, I'm not interested, buddy. And then he tells me about the dating thing. And then I go, and I just start laughing. And I go, I have to get back to work, dude. He goes, well, she just wants to interview you for a second. I was like, no. I have to get back to work. Oh my gosh. Crazy. And then a part of me was like, yeah, I might as well hang around for a little bit. And I went, no. And then I came back upstairs and had 70 things to do. Anyway, welcome back in. This is the first week. Well, I guess whenever John Oliver returns, that'll be the first week where all of the late night shows are back and Colbert's is gone. Was it, when I was watching the shows this week, was it something I missed? Even though I didn't watch The Late Show a lot? Yeah, it was. Because there was a point where, I'd watch Seth, and then I'd watch Kimmel, and then I'd watch Fallon, and then I watched The Daily Show. And there was a point where I was like, I'm missing something, aren't I? Oh, man. All right, let's get into what happened this week in late night. This week in late night. They all came back from their little breaks. Fresh as daisies. Tina Fey, for the Tonight Show, Tina Fey stopped by to talk about the new season of, what's that Netflix show called? The Four Seasons. That show's on my queue, in my list. And they just spoiled it right there. They're like, Steve Carell, yeah, we killed him. We killed his character. I was like, what? That's my fault. I should have watched it last year. Marlon Wayans was there. Jazz Chisholm Jr. was there. And then we saw a performance from Schmigadoon. If you don't know what Schmigadoon is, it is the musical that's based on the Apple TV show, the short-lived Apple TV show starring Cecily Strong and Kiko Makaki. And it's a fantastic show. And I'm glad that it is getting a second life on stage. And featured in the in this song, I don't know if she's part of the cast, is Anna Gasteyer. Moving on, Paul Rudd stopped by as well. They had a nice, lovely chat. And then Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber was there. Nicholas Galitzine was also there, and he's the new He-Man. I went, who is that? And then it was a new He-Man. I went, okay. Ron Taylor performed stand-up. We also had Amy Sedaris was there doing some Love Island thing. I don't know what that is. Nick Jonas was there. Violet Grohl performed a song. I believe she's about to go on tour. And John Lithgow and Regina Hall and Kane Parsons were there as well, with Malcolm Todd performing. On Late Night with Seth Meyers, as I watched that show recorded, you get to the last interview, Late Night with Seth Meyers, because they don't have musical performances anymore or stand-up, you get to the end of the second interview, and then the show is over, but there's still like 3 or 4 minutes of commercials. And then when the commercials end, they have a tag that is just a video of Seth talking to the audience, like him standing up in front of the desk talking to the audience. And it's just it's so eerie to see that because they're just like, if you want more Late Night with Seth Meyers, check out the YouTube or listen to the podcast, which is just episodes of the show. And I'm just thinking, why? Why do we do this? We had a bunch of closer looks this week. Brett Goldstein was there with David Sedaris was there. Anna Faris, Pink, Anna Patchett, Will Forte, Allison Brie, and Paul Rudd and Rafael Nadal. I do want to mention, Joke Seth Can't Tell was the other bit they did this week besides Closer Look. That segment is so funny, and yet the audience, I'm sure all they want is Closer Look. You can't have Closer Look all the time. But Joke Seth Can't Tell is so goddamn funny. And these people give it nothing. And Amber and Jenny are there laughing their butts off. Those are some good jokes that they're telling. And Seth's telling. It's just ridiculous. And it's just wasted on that audience who just wants a closer look. As for Jimmy Kimmel Live, we had Death Cab for Cutie perform. And then Adwale and Akinnuoye Agbaje from Euphoria was there. Olivia Wilde was there. Michael Stipe and Andrew Watt performed the theme song from the show Rooster. Speaking of Steve Carell earlier on from HBO. Jeremy Allen White appeared. Amanda Peet was there. Kevin Hart and a basketball player I despise, Draymond Green. And it sounds like Kimmel had a light week. I believe they took Wednesday or Thursday off, and they will be doing an episode tonight after the NBA Finals, one of the NBA Final matches, games. Then for The Daily Show, Jon Stewart came back. I admittedly had to. I just couldn't listen to the monologue in the audience cheering anymore, so I did have to stop about 2/3 of the way through. Not even 2/3. It was like definitely like 1/4 of the way through. He interviewed Jason Bateman, and then Michael Costa took over for the rest of the week, and he spoke to Dr. Thomas Matter. Desi Lydic appeared, and she talked about the midterm elections. Chase Infinity sat down for an interview, and then we had Grace Kludenschmidt talk about Zoran Mondami and the Knicks in the finals and all that stuff. Jordan Klepper went to New Orleans to talk about America's semi-quincentennial, and Michael Costa ended the week with Beth Stern, yes, Howard Stern's wife, talking about her animal rescue and other things. What a week it's been. You know, as I said at the top of this episode, or at the end of the monologue at the top of this week in late night, it took me 4 chances to record the monologue, and instead of stopping the recordings, I just kept things going. I don't know how long this episode is. It says 17 minutes or so, but I don't know how long that is. Because there's like other junk on top of it. All right, this comes from ESPN, what I want to talk about today. Comedian Marcelo Hernandez is chosen to host the ESPYs on July 15th. I don't know why they continue. This is, again, from ESPN. I don't know why they continue. They don't have bylines. They just have ESPN. When I was at NBC, if you didn't want your name on something, you would just put, 11 Alive News staff. Oh, my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I put out like a 3-sentence article on the website because I didn't want that. And then everything I wrote, everything else is on my muck rack. You can see it. Almost everything else, I think. For a long time, I couldn't find the other things that I wrote for them. I had to do a lot of deep Googling in order to find the stuff I found. Anyway, Marcelo Hernandez from SNL will be doing the ESPYs, hosting the ESPYs this year. It's a fascinating thing that they continued to get comedic hosts. Because I believe last year was Shane Gillis, and I'm sure those idiots in every sport, those dumb morons, enjoyed his style of comedy. But if you look at the past hosts, it's been Jimmy Kimmel, John Cena, LeBron, Peyton Manning. I can say LeBron. If I can say LeBron, I can also say Peyton. I can also say Serena. You know who I'm talking about. Tracy Morgan, Steph. If I say Steph, you know who I'm talking about. Sue Bird and others, Sam Jackson. But I don't understand. I feel like these idiots in sports are so uptight and so self-serious that, like, how many pairs of sunglasses are on inside that building at any given time during that show. That they just won't be accepting of anybody who's there except for probably Shane Gillis. Anyway, Marcelo's excited to do this. I'm not going to read his prepared statement. So good for him, though. And then finally, next week, we're going to see a return from a previous late night host, if only for a fleeting moment in time. This is written by Jed Rosengwig, whatever, at Late Nighter. Here's what we know about James Corden's late night TV return. Now, don't get your hopes up. If you like him, don't get your hopes up. If you don't like him, don't be pissed. Also, who cares? There's worse things in this world. Oh, I don't like it. How dare he come back? You know who our president is? I'm telling you, everybody at the ESPYs does, and they love him. So James Corden left late night 3 years ago, and then he returned home to the UK. But now he's back just for 24 episodes, thanks to Fox and the World Cup. He's going to be hosting what is going to be a blend of comedy, celebrity guests, audience energy, and tournament reaction. Starting June 11th, we will see James Corden hosting FIFA World Cup on Fox After Hours with James Corden, which is a mouthful of a name. The series is going to follow the network's coverage of key primetime matches with a comedic look at the tournament's biggest moments, storylines, personalities, and viral detours. Fox says the show will be built around Corden's, quote, lifelong soccer fandom, which I know that to be true because he has talked about that before, and will feature appearances from some of the biggest names in pop culture and the game. I think it's a good idea. Fox has put all of their shows on hiatus. This is the same thing that NBC does for the Olympics. Fox has put all of their shows on hiatus. MasterChef is not coming back until July. American Dad is not coming back until late June. I'm pissed. Oh my gosh. I think The Floor is they're airing the last two episodes next week. I hate it when shows get upended, especially in the summer, because they already don't know what to do with animation domination. But as I said to myself last night when I saw that, yesterday on the bike, I was cycling and I saw that at the end of the episode of this week's episode of MasterChef, there was a voiceover from Gordon Ramsay himself saying we're going away for the World Cup. And then they showed a trailer for the rest of the season, basically spoiling things, which I did not like. I had to fast forward. But anyway, as this is the same thing I said to myself when I was on the bike. At least we get a couple more seasons of The Simpsons and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers and American Dad. At least we get that. If shortened seasons and messed up schedules is what we have to deal with in order to get more seasons of those shows, then by all means. I said the same thing when I noticed Seth Meyers started doing mid-show ads. They're ads. Yeah. Doing ads, branded content, as they call it. And when they do it, I just go, at least this show gets to stay around. And you know what? If this is, it's not something I like personally, or I hate saying personally. It's not something I enjoy to see, but it's something that's happened on Ghosts on CBS. It's something that's happened on Abbott Elementary on ABC. It sucks, but this is how people are getting paid right now. So this was announced at Fox's Upfront, this Corden show, FIFA after show thing. So we knew this was coming. We knew this was going to come. But as Jed points out, this is a pseudo reunion for the Late Late Show staff. This is very interesting because I had no idea about any of this. Corden's going to be joined in studio by a former coworker, Ian Carmel, / I guess he was a writer, but I guess like sidekick-ish even though Reggie Watts was the sidekick. Anyway, / band leader. And then former England national team captain Rio Ferdinand is also going to be there. And then we're seeing, as Jed points out, more than a little of Corden's Late Late Show team is involved. It's not none, but it's not everybody. Along with Carmel, you're going to see 4 of the show's executive producers that are from The Late Late Show. Ben Winston, James Longman, Gabe Turner, and Eric Pankowski. He said, "Give me all the white men." I'm just going to guess their race based on the idea that they were 4 men executive producers in charge of a show. I'm just going to guess. I'm just look. If Eric Pankowski is a Latino person, then by all means, I'm going to do a quick search. He's a white man. Let me look at Gabe Turner. Oh, surprise, surprise. He's a white man. Okay. What viewers can expect from this show is going to be tournament reaction, comedy. Is that an ant? Tournament reaction, comedy, celebrity guests, and human interest stories from around the 48-team field. Fox also says the show will spotlight, quote, the tournament's most talked about moments and storylines of the day, while also looking for stories around viral fans, team adjacent characters, and other World Cup oddities. Corden himself says it's going to be a lighthearted affair, which is cool enough. I imagine this will be along the lines of, what's the sports show that Keenan and Kevin Hart do? Let's see. That show is called Good Sports with Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson on Prime. That's on Prime. I watched it when it was the Olympics, and that was the Olympics from last Olympics, not the most recent one, but the one before that. I watched half an episode, and I was like, I don't need to see this. Sorry, I checked the work laptop really quick. Now, the show begins Thursday, June 11th, the opening night of the tournament, and will air live on Fox around midnight Eastern. You're going to see it air Thursday, June 11th, Friday, Sunday. So it's going to be, it seems like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It seems like 24 not random nights. I will say it doesn't look random because they do stop June 25th, and then so those are the first rounds, and then Sunday, June 28th through Wednesday, July 15th, they don't have any teams set up yet. So it looks like they're covering, at minimum, the first, I guess the best soccer teams. I don't know, because they are covering the teams USA, New Zealand, Uzbekistan, Mexico. I know Mexico's good. Colombia, South Africa, Paraguay. So it seems like Korea's getting 3 slots. Colombia's getting 2 slots. Wow. Hachi machi. You can attend. Anybody can attend. You can go get tickets. So it is going to be that type of show. Again, I just spoke about the ESPYs. So this is not the first time comedy and sports have crossed over. And if you'll remember, early last year in 2025, there was that ESPN show with Jason Kelsey they call it Late Night. And it ran for what, like a couple of episodes? And it wasn't good? I like the idea. It's fine. Who cares? Bring back these stunts. Let it be more comedic. It doesn't matter. None of this matters anymore. And you know what? I want to see if Corden still has it in him. It'd be interesting if Trevor Noah came back and did the Daily Show for an episode. I'm sure he would defend Joe Rogan again. But this is you don't remember that? I remember that very distinctly. He defended Joe Rogan like 2 nights in a row. Anyway, this is an interesting thing. I'm going to watch it, so I can have something to talk about next week. But I can't say that I'm going to be watching any of the soccer matches going on for the World Cup. But who knows? I watch golf. I'm watching golf right now. I'm watching the LPGA Women's U.S. Cup right now, and whatever the men are doing, the PGA men are doing at this point. I watched a lot of Wimbledon matches, but I'm a fan of golf and tennis. I watched a lot of basketball. I'm a fan of basketball. I watched a lot of basketball until the Mavericks. It looked like they were not going to the playoffs. And I stopped watching the basketball. When I saw it was like the Mavericks and those are my teams are the Mavericks and the Hawks, I was like, well, I guess I'm done watching basketball. And then a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Same thing for the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Falcons fan. And when the playoff chances are done, I go, you know what? I think I'm done with the team for right now for the year. But I hope this is funny, and I hope it is just fun silliness, because I think that's what James Corden really does well. Is just he can do fun silly things in the same way that Fallon does. R.I.P. But this is what we needed. But here's the thing. They know they're doing this for 24 nights, which is fine. I know this is not going to awaken anything for Fox Broadcasting, because how many times has Fox tried to do a late night show? Or, excuse me, not even a late night, just a late night show. A show to compete against the other late night variables on broadcast TV. Because they did Mad TV. Let me see. Fox Broadcasting late night shows. Let's see. Fox. How many shows did Fox? Oh, they did a Chevy Chase show. Oh, that's right, the Chevy Chase show. I remember seeing that in the documentary, and I was like, what? Why did that exist? Past. I'm on the Wikipedia page. This is so fun. You must be having a blast. They did The Late Show in the 80s, and Joan Rivers did it for, not even a year. And then Arsenio, The Wilton North Report, Comic Strip Live. Chevy's show went for a month. Saturday night's main event was a weekly WWF wrestling showcase. Then, of course, Mad TV. Saturday Night Special, which was the sketch series. I remember that. Talk show with Spike Ferriston. I remember that. Wanda Sykes show. I definitely remember that. And then they had another block of Animation Domination. I definitely remember that. And that was fun because they had shows like Animation Domination Shorts, HD Shorts, Axe Cop, High School USA, Lucas Brothers Moving Co., Golan the Insatiable, Stone Quackers, and Major Lazer. I watched every single one of those shows on Hulu. Party Over Here. Yeah, that sketch series with Nicole Byer, I think Jessica McKenna, and Allison Rich. Look at me. Carl Tart. SNL writer Carl Tart. If he's not if he's not brought up to SNL cast this season, I will be disappointed. All right, listen. I'm done. If you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes under the interviews. To watch a video version of the interviews, as well as a video version of this show, and the other podcasts, Late Night LinkedIn Logs, the jobs and business news podcast, and The Constitutionals, the entertainment business news show. Go to youtube.com/C plus comedy, where you can see all of those things and more. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media at C plus comedy on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Me at C plus comedy. Me, Chad Black White on those platforms. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.